Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. So things are really getting interesting at the moment. And before we dive into this one, I just want to thank all of you for supporting, liking, commenting, and just really being there for me when I need you most. It's not been easy getting through those past 4 months. And I really did think that the LUNC community would have been past me at this point. Everybody would have forgotten me and I would have been down and out. So I do want to thank everybody for supporting. So just a quick little reminder here, the LUNC compounding system, or some people like to call it auto stake, which I think is a far better technical explanation, if you will, for the other 99% that aren't developers and that go on these real technical understanding. No one really knows what auto compounding is outside of our blockchain, but staking is what people understand. And yeah, just wanted to shout this out. It's available. All you need to do is delegate with me and you can use and utilize this system. It's easy, it's simple, and it's always going to be there available for you. And it's free as long as you're delegating with our validator and you can maximize those gains. So let's push forward and get on to the point of this video. And just want to thank a few thanks in this video. Want to thank everybody for supporting the deposit on the public inquiry and getting this to where it really needs to be. I'll be dropping a video on this later today, so stay tuned for that. So let's really dive into the nitty gritty of this video. We've got a lot to go through, so just bear with me. Get a cup of tea, get a couple of biscuits or a bit of toast, whatever suits you this morning, this afternoon, or this evening, wherever you are on planet Earth. So I have got the signaling proposal up to burn those final 8 wallets that are in trial exhibit P301, and this will be done for a chain upgrade. It's nothing that we haven't done before, so it's nothing new, and everything is essentially already trialed and tested, which is really good for a proposal like this. So you're probably thinking, why a signaling proposal? You may already know this, but I like to go off the understanding that you know absolutely nothing to cater to absolutely everybody. We have to signal beforehand because CEXs actually need to support the upgrade across board. So we really need to gauge interest in this before we go ahead and submit a chain upgrade, because those CEXs really do like 2 weeks notice. So I have done this in a tactical manner because you might be thinking, well, hang on a minute, doesn't that mean Binance actually have to address this upgrade that we're going to do? And yes, they do. And that means if they come to look at the chain upgrade, if they ignore the public inquiry, we know that they've seen it. And there's a very, very high percentage chance that coming to look at this chain upgrade, you would therefore come across that other information. So it's not a checkmate, essentially, but it's a really good way to play these proposals out, if you will. So what I want to do is really ask of your favor again and try help me get this proposal from the deposit phase into the voting phase, and it's proposal 12202. Clicking on here, all of the information that you need is readily available. So go ahead, go and have a little look at that, get yourselves up to date. I have proposed this before, but it's as if people will vote no based on the proposal coming from me. And I just feel things are a little bit different now, and people do have a little bit of a different mindset. So let's go ahead, let's get this Excel spreadsheet up and show you the wallets that we are talking about. So these are the final 8 wallets remaining in trial exhibit P301 that exist on chain. Of course, we've got those CEX assets, but they are essentially off-chain. Once we have destroyed these final 8 wallets, there's nothing that exists on-chain at this point that we can go through and burn. For all extent and purposes, it's done and it's dusted. I'm going to leave a link to this document in my Google Drive for you guys to go in and have a look. I'll leave a link to the final judgment, and I'll leave the raw copy of Trial Exhibit P301 also in my Google Drive. So again, go and do your own research, tick the boxes for yourself so you have the ability to really go out there and educate people. I think it's a really important thing that you pass on the information as accurately as possible. So yeah, you might have to do a little bit of reading with this one. So as per the final judgment, I'm always going to refer to this because it is the basis of what we're doing here. The final judgment is clear. Defendants shall otherwise burn or destroy the private keys in Terraform's possession to wallets or blockchain addresses holding Terraform crypto assets. And as we know, we got all of the wallets in trial exhibit P301. We also have evidential proof that burning the keys isn't sufficient enough, not just word of mouth from TFL, the CEO, during the civil case proceedings, but we've also seen evidence of other players going ahead, abiding by that final judgment, and burning the assets, not simply just going ahead and destroying those keys. So To give you guys a bit of a background here, if you don't know about all of the entities, if you will, that have abided by the final judgment and catered to that sufficient need. And two of those were exactly the same as the proposal that we're going through now, but it was for the Anchor Protocol assets and then for the Mira Protocol assets. And it was not a small amount. It was a very significant amount percentage-wise of the over USTC supply. Not so much on the LUNC side, but definitely took a big chunk out of that USTC supply. So again, we've already complied ourselves with the final judgment. Now we can go ahead and we can look at people like TFL. Did they abide by the final judgment? Well, yes, they did. They shut down the Shuttlebridge wallets, and in doing so, burning all of those assets that were linked in with it. We also have the SEC or the SEC themselves going ahead and abiding by that final judgment, not simply destroying the private keys, but going ahead and burning all of that USTC that was held in the LFG reserve. So I really do think at this point, anyone voting no against this, abstaining, is doing it out of personal intent, if you will. It's now a situation where all of the evidence is there in front of us. All of the data is there in front of us. All of the compliance is there in front of us. We know what we need to go and do. And we've already burnt a huge chunk of P301. This is literally what remains. There will be people out there who will say, oh, you know, you've got to do a chain upgrade. That's complex. You should really leave it alone. And I would say to those two people, well, hang on a minute. We've not only done it once with Mira Protocol, but we've done it twice with Anchor Protocol. So it's nothing new. It's kind of the situation with Binance, right? They couldn't come out if they do address this and say, well, actually, we don't know how to burn the assets. They've already done it. They do it monthly. It's one of those kind of situations. This really is a Ron Seal kind of thing. It's going to do what it says on the tin. Now, talking about these assets, right, specifically going back to this list, which is 358 million USTC. And you're probably thinking, well, that's not that much, is it, Jay? And yeah, it is. It's around 5.90% of the total supply. And if you add on what could be possibly burned from the Binance publicly inquiry from those TFL assets, we could be looking at around a 56% burn of the total supply. This is now a situation where you should really start thinking to yourself, what has my validator that I delegate with done this year for Terra Classic? And I'm not talking about building a project that's going to use and utilize it, because I think we have that across board at the moment. What we don't have is enough people that are interested in progressing the chain, if you will, actually spending time, energy, money, effort, resources, everything on doing stuff like this. And I don't want to float my own boat, if you will, and bolster myself up. But this is now a situation where we are in dire circumstances. And if we don't begin to turn things around, if we don't begin to get the reward system under control so it doesn't spiral out into a situation where everybody just has to reject anyway, all the validators have to leave, and everything just dries up because everybody was take. It's now the time to start giving back to the blockchain. It's now the time after 4 years, right, to actually start focusing on how we remedy this original situation with the supply. If anybody wants to go ahead, right, and perform a USTC repeg of some sort, you're going to need to burn through as much of the USTC supply that is available. It is now currently lower, guys. And I don't know if you know this, right? It is now currently lower than it has ever been, period. So flicking over to LunkDash quickly, sitting at just over, right, 6 billion USTC. It's really not that much anymore. And again, it's lower than the original supply before the crash. If we do, in fact, get enough support on this proposal, we'll do the chain upgrade 2 weeks later. It's going to leave us in a situation which is far more beneficial. A repeg is reachable, if you will, currently, with the right minds behind it and the right focus pushing it forward. And it becomes even more so when you burn through even more of these assets. It leaves these people with more things to play with. It leaves them with a far better ecosystem. So again, I just want to shout out just at the end of this video for you guys, the auto compound feature is available. Auto stake is what I'm going to be calling it going forward. I'm even going to change it on here to auto stake because we need to cater to the other 99% that are going to hopefully join the Terra Classic community. But yeah, this is available. Use and use it, harness it, share it, do whatever you need to do. But look, guys, that's all I've got on this subject right now. If you can, like I said, I'll leave a link in the description. Try get this out of the deposit phase into the voting period. I'd really appreciate it. And I know a lot of other people will on chain. And let's get these final 8 wallets burned. Let's do the last part that is required of us as an ecosystem. And Chris Armani said it best. There will be assets that are left behind and you will need to go ahead and burn those assets. I'll also try leave a link at the end to the TFL space where you can hear it from Chris Armani himself. Guys, stay safe, stay humble, stay aware, and I'll catch you in the next one.